Time now for Good4Utah Gardens, brought to you by Millcreek Gardens.
It finally feels like spring. We are out in the Good4Utah Garden. I'm with LaRene from Millcreek Gardens, and we're doing a little pruning today, aren't we?
Yeah, those are fancy gloves you got.
Do you like them?
Gauntlet gloves for roses. We're going to talk about that in a minute.
Well, I'm going to prune, and you said there's a couple of rules, and I'm going to get my trusty little, right? I have my own.
These are Leslie's favorite pruners, and she does the roses at Millcreek Gardens, so we'll tell you about that in just a few minutes.
Okay.
But let's come over here to this Japanese maple. This applies to any shrub or tree, anything you're pruning. What we want to do, it's a beautiful tree. It's just coming out in leaf. You can see some dead on it. There's some brown branches. What you want to do is go through first and cut all that off. And don't hesitate to even go a little deeper. See, there's some little green I'm trimming off. That's okay.
And where do you want to prune it?
About 1/4 of an inch right above the collar. The collar is right there where you would, it's where there's a joint or where there's a fork. So you want to cut right above that. And that'll force out growth also. So can you see, like right here, here's a big one. Can you prune that?
Ooh,
right?
I would love to.
Just right above
here?
that.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, these pruners are so sharp. They're fabulous.
Okay, let's do this one right here. Let's take it down a little further here.
Like right there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, and you said this one too, you want to prune it there because when it comes out in like these threes, doesn't it?
It's in twos and it will branch out. We also want to thin off some of the crossing branches. Like, see, those are really close. That one's actually dead, so let's take that off.
Oh, I see that. Yep.
But here, and there's like a whole bunch right here, so let's take this one off right here to thin that out.
Do I do it right there?
Right
above?
Right there.
Is that right?
Yep. And then that will sprout from there. We want to keep it coming this way.
It's so fun.
Here's
I have
another
to put
one.
the pruners down because I get excited.
Let's take this one clear to the bottom.
Okay.
Okay, let's do one more here. See how this one's growing up through here? Let's take this one off clear to the end and make sure you get about 1/4 of an inch above that collar.
Okay, like that.
Yep, right there.
Okay.
And that won't make it so it's not so
really
full.
fun.
Okay.
All right, we've got some pretty purple over here.
This is a wisteria vine. It is awesome. And the wisteria is very fragrant. It comes out in the springtime. It can go on a pergola. It can be planted in a pot or in the ground.
And doesn't it keep growing and getting beautiful?
It does grow and get beautiful. I mean, I've seen them on small trellises. I've seen them on large pergolas. You just prune them however shape you want them and whatever size.
Oh, those are beautiful. All right, so we're going to talk about roses.
Yes, here's
and
the
we're
rose
talking
care.
about caring for the soil before you care for the rose first.
Now, you always want to care for the soil on everything you plant, and particularly with the roses, we have the Gardener in Bloom Rose and Flower Planting Mix, and that's really wonderful.
Right,
it's the bag down there.
Thanks, Thomas.
And what you're going to do is when you plant that rose bush, you dig the hole about twice the size, a little deeper, and you're going to mix in the backfill soil 50%. Now, this applies to everything, 30 to 50% of the backfill soil with that. And then when you get it planted, you're going to compact it around, leave a little basin, put a little bit more compost on the top, water, and really good.
I love it because you know where she learned this? She learned this from her grandmother.
I did, and I'm going to tell you about that in a minute, too. This is rose and flower care. This is fertilizer, insecticide, and disease control in one. Here's an organic rose fertilizer, and here's just a natural guard rose and flower insect killer if you have aphids. And this is a cool tool set here. Short, small tools for those smaller people, children and women, and
right.
It's awesome.
We can use those.
This is an incredible rose right here. This is instead of having iceberg white, it's a red iceberg. It's a bit fragrant. And on this fragrance here, you can smell this. And also the white alyssum around the outside is going to create fragrance in your garden. We also have the knockout rose. You just get it in the ground and it's going to bloom for you. You can hedge it. You can whack it back easily. And my grandmother taught me on these strawberries, you can put strawberries with roses and go out and pick them. And that reminds me of my grandmother and all she taught me.
Love it, and she taught you so much. And you know what? You need to go to Millcreek Gardens and just walk around. I mean, roses, this is the perfect time of year to do that.
Yes, and and that first planter up there was some sweet potato vine at the bottom and some other shade plant lovers. And those sweet potato vines were grown by the Green Thumb program at the state prison. We want to thank them.
Thank you for doing that. Is it a great day?
Every day is a great day at Millcreek Gardens. 99-cent geraniums this week, too, starting today.
Thank you, LaRene. Check out Millcreek Gardens. Go take a little tour around. Thank you. Jesse.